Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the most valuable 5-cent Buffalo nickel coin, value in market in dollar, so let's get started. First up, the 1918 Buffalo nickel, especially the version without a mint mark and preserved in very fine condition. This coin is not just money, it's a piece of American history, art, and culture combined into one small collectible. The 1918 Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, was designed by the famous sculptor James Earl Fraser. It was part of a series minted from 1913 to 1938, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. On the front side, the coin features a detailed profile of a Native American, which Fraser created by combining features from several real Native American chiefs. On the reverse side, you'll find a powerful American buffalo standing on a mound, symbolizing strength and the spirit of the American West. This design alone makes the coin highly desirable among collectors. Now, one important detail that affects the value of this coin is the mint mark. If your 1918 Buffalo nickel does not have any mint mark, it means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia coins of this year are generally more common. However, common does not mean worthless. The condition of the coin plays a much bigger role in determining how much it is worth today. When we talk about condition, coin collectors use a grading system, and one of the popular grades is very fine, often abbreviated as VF. A coin in very fine condition shows moderate wear due to circulation, but the major details are still clearly visible. On the 1918 Buffalo nickel, this means the buffalo's horn is partly visible, the hair details on the Native American are still noticeable, and the overall design remains sharp enough to appreciate. It's not a perfect coin, but it is still attractive and collectible. So what is the value of a 1918 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition in today's market? Based on recent coin market trends, such a coin typically sells for around $20 to $40 US. The exact value depends on the coin's eye appeal, how evenly it is worn, and whether it has any damage such as scratches or corrosion. A cleaner, more detailed, very fine coin will be closer to the higher end of that range, while a dull or damaged one may stay near the lower end. It's interesting to think that something originally worth just 5 cents can now be worth several dollars more simply because of its age, design, and condition. However, not every 1918 Buffalo nickel is equal. Some rare varieties, such as error coins or those with unusual features, can be worth significantly more. One of the most famous examples is the 1918 7D overdate coin, where the date was mistakenly stamped over a previous year. That particular coin can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. But it's important to remember that this is a rare exception and not the same as the standard no mint mark version. If you think you might own a 1918 Buffalo nickel, it's always a good idea to examine it carefully. Look at the date, check for a mint mark under the words 5 cents on the back, and observe the level of detail on both sides. Even small differences can have a big impact on value. If the coin looks promising, you might even consider having it professionally graded to get a more accurate estimate of its worth. In the end, the 1918 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition is a great example of how history can live in everyday objects. It may not make you rich overnight, but it still holds a solid value in today's market and remains a favorite among collectors. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced coin enthusiast, this coin is a reminder that sometimes the smallest Arabic Khalif, Arabic Lam, Arabic Hamza Tatalif, Arabic Sheen, Arabic Yet, Arabic Khalif, Arabic Hamza can carry the greatest stories, and occasionally, a surprising amount of value too. Next up, the 1926 Buffalo nickel is one of the most recognizable coins in American history, and many collectors and beginners are curious about its real value today. This coin, officially known as the Buffalo nickel or Indian head nickel, was designed by James Earl Fraser and produced from 1913 to 1938. It features a Native American profile on the front and a large American buffalo on the reverse, giving it a bold and iconic appearance that still attracts attention nearly a century later. If your coin has no mint mark, it means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark during that time. This is important because buffalo nickels were also minted in Denver and San Francisco, and those versions can sometimes be more valuable depending on rarity. However, the Philadelphia issue is the most common for 1926, so its value depends heavily on its condition rather than rarity alone. When we say a coin is in very fine condition, often labeled as VF20 in grading terms, it means the coin shows moderate wear but still retains strong details. The date, 1926, should be clear and fully readable, which is especially important for buffalo nickels because the date often wears off easily. On the front, the Native American's hair details are still visible, though somewhat flattened. On the back, the buffalo's horn is partially visible, and the overall design is still well-defined even with signs of circulation. This level of condition is quite desirable for older coins because it balances affordability with visible detail. In today's market, the value of a 1926 buffalo nickel with no mint mark in very fine condition is generally modest but still meaningful for collectors. Most recent price guides and market observations suggest that such a coin is worth around $6 to $10. The exact price can vary depending on the coin's eye appeal, surface quality, and how strong the remaining details are. A coin with cleaner surfaces and sharper features may sell closer to the higher end of that range, while a more worn example might stay near the lower end. It is important to understand that coin values are not fixed and can change based on demand, collector interest, and the overall condition of the coin. Even within the same grade, small differences can affect the price. For example, if the buffalo's horn is more clearly defined, or if the lettering around the edge is especially sharp, collectors may be willing to pay a bit more. On the other hand, coins with scratches, discoloration, or heavy wear may sell for less than the typical range. Compared to other conditions, the very fine grade sits in the middle of the value scale. Coins in lower grades, such as good or fair condition, might only be worth $1 or $2 because most of the design is heavily worn. Coins in fine condition usually range between $3 and $5. As the condition improves beyond very fine into extremely fine or about uncirculated, the value increases more noticeably. Uncirculated examples, which show little to no wear, can be worth $40 or more, and sometimes significantly higher depending on quality. Even though a 1926 buffalo nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition is not extremely rare or expensive, it still holds historical and collectible value. It represents a time in American history when coin designs were more artistic and symbolic. Many collectors appreciate this coin not just for its monetary worth, but for its cultural significance and timeless design. If you own one of these coins, it is always a good idea to handle it carefully and avoid cleaning it, as cleaning can reduce its value. Proper storage in a coin holder or protective case can help preserve its condition over time. While it may not make you rich, it is still a fascinating piece of history that carries both beauty and value in today's coin market.